on, everybody? Welcome back to Only Builds with Jacob. This is the Micro Air soft start install video for my AC and heater compressor, if you will. So it's for this condenser. So it's for this condensing unit. This is a Lennox 4-ton. And if you saw my last video, you know that I'm installing the Micro Air Easy Start Flex. But if you did not, well, now you do. So we're gonna get right into this. First thing you're gonna wanna do, open this up, pull the AC disconnect, set it on top. There is no power to this unit as of now. Next thing you wanna do is pull this cover off. It's usually 2 or 4 of these 1/4-inch hex head bits. And make sure you don't lose them. So I like to set mine right down in here so that way I don't lose them. Pull that off, and that exposes everything we need. The second most important is taking some pliers or insulated screwdriver or something and just running it between all of these, because they do still hold power. It's a capacitor and you don't want to accidentally electrocute yourself. So I would say that's good. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the auxiliary heat. Not every house has it. I believe it's strictly houses that have electric heaters or heat pumps. I've got a heat pump on mine. We've got all electric. The aux heat or emergency heat uses a ton of amps. Mine uses 40. You can't, there's nothing to drop that down. The Easy Start the Micro Air Easy Start Flex, which is what I'm going to use, it doesn't drop the amps off of your auxiliary heat. That auxiliary heat is like an emergency, like to where if it's below like 10 or 20 degrees and your regular heater just can't keep up, the heat pump can't keep up, it'll heat these strips. It's got these strips in there that heat up and warm the air. Very important that if you're going to run a generator, that you shut that breaker off, that it'll be a separate breaker. So for instance, this 50 amp breaker here, this 50 amp breaker here is for my heater. Okay, this 40 amp breaker here is for my emergency heat. So whenever I turn the generator on, I have to remember to come out here and turn that breaker off, because if I don't and I try to leave it on and it tries to turn on, it's gonna kill the generator. The generator is gonna shut down. It cannot do it. It's either gonna shut down or it's gonna pop the breaker, because it just can't do it. Like I said, this right here, I tested mine with my clamp meter and it was pulling over 40 amps just on one leg. So yeah, most generators aren't going to be able to keep up with that. I mean, unless you get a big generator like a 15,000, maybe a 13,000 would do it with the house. I'm not too sure, but I just wanted to let you know that. The next thing we're going to do is open up our Micro Air soft start box and grab some instructions. It comes with some extra wiring, comes with these self tappers, because a lot of people, including me, what I might do is try to mount it right here if I can get it in there. Okay, so I've pretty much determined that mine's going to go right here, because I don't want to mount it down here and I don't want to drill another hole. I don't want to mount it down here and I don't want to drill another hole through that base plate there. Even though they send a little ring for it, I just don't really want to, because I don't want it outside. I want it covered and protected. So now that I know it's going to go right here, I'm going to go ahead and screw it in. And what you want to do is make sure there's nothing on this back side, but I know that there isn't. But you want to look through up here where the fan is and just make sure there's nothing on this back side. Okay, now that we have this mounted, I've got all 4 screws in it. Could have got away with just 2 or even 3, but I wanted it to be secure for sure. I got my wire ran up here. I just got it pushed up in here the best I can, because they send a ton of wiring and I don't want to mess with any of that. So the next part is looking at some of this wiring. So you're going to figure out up here what's what. You want to figure out right here what's what, and it's pretty simple. So it sends a little wiring guide. So you're going to need your wiring guide, and then you're also going to need this wiring diagram off of your condensing unit. So you're going to look at this, and it's going to say identify the system wires. You want to identify your CSR in your system's electrical box. So you can see its S goes to the run capacitor, or the H, which is Herm. The R goes to one of the hots, and the C goes to one of the hots. But the R is, it doesn't have this on-off switch in it, I'm sorry, the C does not have this thermostat on-off switch in it. Then you flip to page 2. We're gonna focus on the S. On this diagram, we're gonna focus on the S first, which the S goes to the Herm. What you're gonna do is look at your compressor. On mine right here shows compressor RSC. S is yellow, and the yellow goes to the H on the capacitor, which is the Herm. On here, the S is orange. So we're gonna take our orange wire right here, we're gonna take it over here to the yellow on the capacitor, because that is the Herm, and we're gonna hook it up back inside there. Okay, so now that the Herm wire is hooked up back in here, you can see that maybe. I got the Herm, which is the orange, goes to the Herm. You're gonna come back down here to your diagram, and we're going to do R. So R is red, and it comes over here to the contactor. That's what this is. This is a contactor. Now there's a little cover right here that I think you saw at the beginning of the video that I did not have on because I forgot to put it on, because I just replaced this not too long ago. Inside here there's a little contactor that when the power kicks on right through here, it sucks that contactor in and then sends the power up through this unit. This is the wire that we're looking for right here, this red one, because we're going from the R over. That's what this is right here, the contactor. I don't know how well you can see that because this is a little faded. So on mine, we're looking for this red wire right here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut this wire. So you're gonna take a nice sharp pair of wire strippers slash cutters, and you're just gonna cut that right in half, and then you're gonna strip both sides of it. Now, the sides of this do matter to what gets hooked up right here. They even have a warning label here that says connect this wire only to the run winding. If you connect it to the run cap, damage will occur and the warranty voided. So what that means is this side goes to the compressor. The brown will go to the side that goes inside here to the compressor, which for me is this one right here. Okay, so now you see the red one that goes to the compressor. It goes back down and through this hole down here. You're gonna hook that one to the brown, and then the white wire, you're going to take the one that goes from the contactor and push that in there, close that little toggle because this is a Wago, and that part's done. Okay, so now that that part's done, we're going to come over here to the C wire. The C wire is black, and it comes onto the contact right here, the contactor right here on top. As you can see, there's a black wire right here, and that's the one that comes, well, it's this one, but comes from the compressor, this one here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the black wire, and you are going to put it on this little tab right there. Now for mine, it's a little tight, but it works. I'm actually going to cut this open and expose some more of this wire. Okay, so now that I got that black wire hooked up here, I cut some of the sheathing back to give some room. Yes, I know this looks like a mess, but I don't have much space in here. So this right here will be just fine. We're gonna compress that in there and we're gonna put the cover back on because we are done. So again, this orange one will go to the Herm. You're gonna follow your diagram and figure out which one is your Herm. And then you're gonna take the red one here, which goes to the compressor, and you're gonna tie it in. The compressor side hooks to the brown, and the plug side or the contactor side hooks to the white, and then this black one will hook up to this black side over here on the left, because most of these are all the same. And then we're going to put this cover back on and we will be done. You're going to want to put this back in and make sure you put it back in the on position here. And after you put that back in, the unit will come on and it will show you that there's power, the fan's on, it's running normal, it's got green lights, it shows you everything that you need to know there. So next would be to hook up your app. Okay, so now that that's installed, it's all running, this just came on. You're going to go to your app and you're going to download an app called Easy Start by Micro-Air, which actually says that it's from another company, but it's by Micro-Air. It says Easy Start. You're going to download that, okay? And when you go to connect, you're going to want the unit on. The unit has to be on, and you're going to type in capital Easy, capital E, Easy, and then capital S, Start, with an underscore. And then you're going to hit connect. The unit's got to be running. You're going to hit connect, and it's going to automatically find the unit, the Bluetooth ID. It'll automatically find it. So that's all you got to type in. It's Easy Start underscore, and it will find the rest. And then you can go to the status, which mine is showing status normal. The line frequency is 59.9 hertz, which is great. The live current is 15.7 amps. The last start peak amps was 28.6. I didn't get to see the first one. I don't know if I can go back and look at the first one, but the first one I guarantee was much higher. It just shows the last one, and it's only started twice because I had to go in there and turn this on, or turn it off and turn it on. So total starts, and it will tell you your faults and your delay. This is very neat. If you had to relearn it, you can, but right now it's a normal operation. Has no power up delay. You can diagnose if you need to, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but it also shows you your faults. Like, you can click faults, it shows you all the faults that it will show you that will pop up. So yeah, pretty neat. It'll show you everything that you need to know as it's running. But if it's not running, you won't be able to see any of this because this only pulls power whenever the actual unit turns on. I'm not really sure why. It kind of bugs me, but yeah, whatever. Take the good with the bad, I suppose. So we're gonna leave this on for as long as we can and see if anything happens to it, see if it blows up like some of the other people, they were saying the capacitors were blowing up. But Micro-Air, they really back their product, and it's got a 2-year warranty, so they will warranty it as long as it's within that 2 years. So that's great to know. So we're gonna go ahead and get this cap put back on, or this cover put back on, and call it done. All right guys, so it has been, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 months, and let's check how it's doing. All right, so we are connected. Let's look at the status. Wow, look at that. So live current currently is 11.7. The last start peak was 32.8. It's a little higher than I expected, but considering that it has been in the high hundreds, like 105, 106 for the last week or so, kind of doesn't surprise me. Total starts so far 8,200. That is crazy. So I can't say that I'm displeased whatsoever, because I know right now at 32.8, starting peak and then 11.6 live current, my 10,000 watt generator can absolutely handle that. So on that note, you know what it is. This is Only Builds with Jacob. On to the next one.